Hi guys, it's Carol from Cape Cod Cottage Garden, and today we are finally going to start some seeds for the 2026 growing season. I'm super excited. I did all my prep work. You can see behind me. Ooh, look at all of that. That was a lot of washing. So let's gather this stuff up, bring it down to my seed room, and get going. Okay guys, so I changed my grow space around, as you can see. I now have a shelf on that wall and that wall. I turned the table the other way because I now have these IKEA closets that used to be in my master bedroom, but we had to move them down here when we did the remodel. So I spent one day semi-organizing this. It's pretty good right now. I would love to move these to the other side, but my ceiling height is too low. So I have to work with what I have. So guys, welcome back. So first today, I want to apologize for the lighting. When I moved my table this way, all I have in here is some fluorescent lights and it's making me look really, really scary. Onward and upward. So first I'm just going to do a mini seed haul with you guys. I vowed not to purchase too many seeds because if I could show you the ridiculous amount of seeds I have, and it's just gross consumerism and I need to get a handle on it. So I didn't buy too many this year. Let me just go through a few of the ones that I bought. Today I do plan on planting some onions at the very least. So I'm going to get those going. Today is January 21st, I believe. So I usually start these earlier and I didn't do it. So I was just about to start this video to plant the onions and I realized I didn't buy any. So I had to run down to my local store and I just picked up a couple. So what I picked up was this yellow sweet Spanish Utah onion. It's a big yellow onion. And then also I grew these before. I don't think I've ever grown those before, but I have grown these. These are the Walla onions. So those I will be growing. And then some seeds that I bought, vegetables, is my favorite tomato. I ran out of seeds, so I had to buy that. I'll have to put a picture because it's Johnny's and there's no picture. So pink Berkeley tie-dye. I'll put a picture because this tomato is my favorite. You can use it for many things. It can be a slicer. I can make sauce out of it. It has a kind of, I want to say smoky flavor, but I don't like smoky stuff, but I love this tomato. It's so good. It just has such a complex taste and it's not really acidy. And that's what I have a trouble with tomatoes. So I really, really like this tomato. Pink Berkeley tie-dye. If I can pop a picture in of some that we grew last year, I will show you. They were huge, bigger than our hands. A new one for me, this squash delicata. I'm just showing you the package just in case it's something you want to purchase, but I'll try to pop a picture of delicata squash. And then I'm all out of carrots, so I just got from Park Seed, I got some, just some Scarlet Nantes carrots, just basic carrots. I usually have good luck with those. And you know, I talked about this in my last video, how much I love a winter carrot. I love pulling my carrots after the frost, after you get the first frost in the fall. As a matter of fact, and I think I said in my last video, I pulled them like a few weeks ago and they were so good. So good. I had to dig through the snow to get them, but oh my gosh. I think I can get away with that because here on Cape Cod, we don't get like the hard freeze. I was up at my daughter's house and I said, let's go pull some carrots at Christmas. And they looked at me like I was crazy. So I went out there and it was frozen solid. Like you weren't getting those carrots out. Like they had carrots in the ground, but you weren't getting them out without like a chisel. So we didn't have fresh carrots. So, and then I bought this mini harvest blend pumpkins from Park Seeds. I grow the Jack-B little pumpkins and I just want a couple more. These ones I think have different colors. I'll have to check the picture. So that's it for vegetables. What do you think, guys? That's all I bought for vegetables. I mean, I do have cartons and cartons of vegetable seeds, but that's all I bought this year. Oh, one more. And I think I might plant these this year. I've never grown baby greens before, and I think I'm gonna grow them. So I bought this. It's just, it's called a superfoods mix. So it's brassicas and assorted species of brassicas. It's supposed to be really good for you. So what's in here is red Russian kale, DeChico broccoli, Georgia Southern collards, purple Vienna kohlrabi, purple top white globe turnip, and bok choy. Now, a lot of those I don't eat normally, but I'll eat the baby greens. Some of the things that I have been trying to be good about this year is I'm trying to take care of myself. I joined a gym. Woo! If you know me, you know that's not something I normally do. I've been going for 6 weeks and I actually really love it. Shocker, but I do love it. And I'm trying to eat better. So I would put this on salads. I'd eat it, snack on it, and I'd put it in sandwiches. So I'm going to grow some of those. I think I'll start those today. And then for flowers, this is what I have for flowers. So my favorite petunia that I grew last year, because if I can find some clips of it, I'll try to put it in, but it's the Tidal Wave Silver Hybrid. I got them from Park Seeds. Here's the package. But I got a few of these, so a couple of those packages. I also got this Impatiens Solarscape Brilliant Gems. So these are like sun patience. They can grow in partial sun or sun. So unlike regular Impatiens that need shade. So I do put these in my front garden, so I got some more of those. I'm just sick of buying the packages, guys. This year, like, no shade to proven winners, but they were like $8 a plant. I need lots of plants. I can't do that. So a different geranium this year. I got a nano pink hybrid geranium. And what else did I get from Proc Seed? I might as well do all of Proc first. Oh, petunias. Those are all silver hybrid that I was showing you. One thing I don't have in my garden is coreopsis. And most of the time, I never buy them because I'm not a big yellow person. And a lot of coreopsis is yellow. But I found this one. It's called, I'm going to mess up the name, Coreopsis Corusco Dream Red from Proc Seed. I'll try to put a picture. Every time I say that, I think to myself, oh, Carol, what are you doing to yourself? Think of all that editing. You got to go find a picture. You got to upload a picture. I'm very bad at the editing. So, oh well, I'll do my best. So I'm excited about that. And then from Eden Brothers, what did I get? Oh, Eden Brothers is the only place that I can find so far that has my favorite coleus seeds. It's called Kong Empire Mix. So it's the big giant coleus. There's the package. And again, my editing Carol later on when I'm doing this is going to be so mad at myself for saying this, but I'll try to put in a little video of the Kong coleus. Oh, so beautiful last summer. I love it. I was never a fan of coleus, but lately it's really grown on me, especially this large coleus. I have a lot of shade in my patio, so it's just really nice to brighten up an area with some gorgeous foliage plants. The other one I have is a new one for me too, because it's yellow, guys. I'm getting out of my era of not liking yellow. Black-Eyed Susan Chimney. These I thought were really cute. So I'm going to try these. Okay, more from Johnny's. Some zinnias. I got a zinnia called Linen. Here's the package. I hope it's showing, guys. Some marigolds called Durango Red. And another petunia I got was an Easy Wave Plum Vein Petunia. Here's the package. And these last 3 packages, I have something special coming up, but I'm not going to share it with you yet. Stay tuned for that. Super excited about this. Super excited. I think you guys will love it too. It's going to be really fun, these 3 packages. And then while I was picking up the onions at my local garden center, I couldn't resist. I've seen people grow this. I have chamomile, which is similar, but I really wanted to try this because I think it's more floriferous than chamomile. We'll see. Feverfew. And I got this from Botanical Interests. I think it just looks really pretty as a filler in bouquets. And those cute little white daisy-like flowers I really like. And then I've been in love with Cosmos lately. And I saw this one at the store and I had to try it. I know, I was really trying hard. I really only bought 2 that I wasn't supposed to. So I'm doing good. I'm going to give myself some grace. So this one is called Apricota. More in my color palette of the pinks, the apricots, the purples, the blues, like those soft colors I really love. So yeah, guys, that's it. That's all the seeds I bought. I believe on like previous seed hauls, my video was like 30 minutes long, just seed after seed after seed. But I'm trying not to consume that much. So yeah, what do you say we plant some onions? Let's do it. So I'm gonna start my onions in potting mix. I know you can use seed starting mix, and a lot of people use seed starting mix. So if you're new to my channel and you're not familiar with the experiment I did on onions one year, I will put it above so you can look at it if you'd like. And the experiment entailed starting onions, some in seed starting mix and some in potting mix. Some using shallow containers and some using deep containers. What I found was incredible. The onions that I started in potting mix did so much better. They were bigger, beautiful. And you could tell right even at planting time, the seedlings were much bigger and hardier. I thought that they would eventually just equal out, but it really didn't. The onions that I started with potting mix were bigger the whole way through. So I'm going to use potting mix. One thing you want to know about potting mix is get a good one. So my favorite is Fort V's. It's very, very hard to source. You can buy it directly from the Vermont Compost Company, but you have to pay for shipping, and you're huge bags of soil. It's not inexpensive. So, but I found a source, but unfortunately it's off Cape. So I'm waiting until I go off Cape to swing by and pick some up. So for now, believe it or not, I'm using a product I don't use a lot, but my friend Roxana at Soy Margaritas did an experiment with her potting soils, and she found that Miracle Grow did really well. So I bought my first bag of Miracle Grow. I don't usually use that product. No shade, I just don't usually use it. So that's what I'm using today, and it looks nice. I always do the smell test. Smells good. Let me show you what it looks like. It looks pretty good, right? Looks beautiful. So that's what I'm going to use to grow my onions. Oh my gosh, this lighting is horrible. If I look in the camera, it's scaring me. So last year I went and I bought this Vigo Garden seed starting kit. The reason why I bought it, because I usually use Bootstrap Farmer, as you know, but for some reason I was way short on pots and I couldn't find them. I was like, where are all my pots? I ran out of pots, so I just went ahead and ordered these. So I wanted to try them. And then my daughter called me and says, oh, Mom, I have all your pots. I'll bring them back to you this weekend. So I bought them, and then I never ended up using them yet. So I think I'm going to give them a try with my onions. I think these are about 2.5 inches, and they're pretty deep, as you can see. You can see how deep they are. So I'm going to use these for my onions, and I'm going to try not to overload the onions. Last year I didn't get a good onion yield, and I know that I was trying to use up all my onion seeds, so I packed them in. And when I was trying to plant them out, they're usually pretty easy to get apart, but they were so densely packed, I don't want to overdo it. So what I'm going to do is do about 4 seeds in each of these. So I'll have 16 of one variety and 16 of another. So let me fill these up. I'm not going to fill it. I just threw soil all over the floor. Mr. Hubby said to me recently, is there any way you can do it so we don't get mud all over the basement floor? And I'm like, no, there really isn't. I think maybe, you know what I could do is I could put a tarp down maybe, right? And that way I could kind of just scoop the tarp out. I mean, I do vacuum it, but we have tile down here and it kind of gets in the grout, so yeah. But this room, like I showed you this bed, it's like so unwelcoming. This is like overflow. If we're really full up on space, otherwise we don't use this room for guests. I mean, all right, so I'm gonna fill them not all over the top because onions like to be about 1/4 inch down, so I just left a little space. So I'm gonna go ahead and fill the rest of these. So just another word about seed starting mix in case you're new to seed starting. Seed starting mix is just a medium to get the seeds started. Once they get their true leaves, you have to up pot them or add nutrients to the soil because there is no nutrients in seed starting mix. I think a lot of people were confused about that. Potting soil does have nutrients in it, so you don't have to worry about putting too much fertilizer or anything on them if you start with potting mix. Now, onions are very heavy feeders, so when these get pretty big, I might give them a little bit of Neptune's Harvest, the liquid fertilizer. It's all natural, organic. It's like a fish emulsion fertilizer. So, but for now, I'm not going to do anything. So let's start with the Walla Wallas. So you want to start with moistened soil, and when you fill your containers, you want to like pat them down. You don't want to pack it down really tight, but you don't want it to be super fluffy. So just give it like a gentle pat down. And now let's see what we have. I think you've all seen onions seeds before, but in case you haven't, let me show you up close what they look like. And there you go. That's a little onion seed. So I'm going to try to do just 4 or 5 in each container. Just placing them on top, and then I'll top it off with a little soil. I'm just going to go ahead and seed all these. You don't think you need to stay here and watch me do that. One thing I will say is that I am going to try to be a little more conservative with my growing this year. Last year, I ended up wasting a lot of plants because I grew too much, way, way too much. And I don't have the room, unfortunately. If I had acres and acres of land, it wouldn't be a problem, but I don't. Okay, so I have the Walla Wallas done. Can you believe I put 5 in each cell? And when I pour them out, I have enough for 40. It was exactly 40. Maybe it's going to be a good onion year. So let's do the other onions. The other ones are the yellow sweet Spanish Utah onions. Let's try those. So another thing you can do with onions is you can just broadcast them, like put them in a big tray and just sprinkle them around. That works too. I just wanted to give my onions lots of room to grow because I want really big onions this year. Last year my onions weren't big. So I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but let this be another experiment. So if you want to broadcast them, you can. The other thing about onion seeds is they don't really last that long, so you kind of want to get fresh ones. They're not a seed that lasts a long time, so your germination might be way, way down. You guys saw what they look like. It's exactly the same. You can't tell the difference. So onions can go out in the ground 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost. So my last frost here on Cape Cod, Mass, zone 7B is April 18th. Now, do I put out my tender annuals at that time? Absolutely not. I usually wait till the first week or second week or third week of May, depending on the weather. But something like onions can go out before the last frost, so I do start them early. I'm about 12 weeks before my frost date right now at January 21st, give or take a couple of days. So that's why I'm starting them now. So, and also with onions, there's long day onions, intermediate onions, short day onions. So depending on what part of the country you live in, just make sure you get the appropriate onion for your climate. So if you live like in the middle of the country, that's intermediate, so you can probably go either way. Up here in the Northeast, you want long day onions. And if you live in the South, you can use short day onions. So that's the onions. So now I'm just gonna sprinkle some soil on top. Just cover them up a little bit because they want to be buried 1/4 inch. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Labels, guys, labels. I made them, but I didn't put them in. These are the Spanish. These are the Walla Walla. I'm using these little plastic knives that were going to be thrown away. So I said, why not wait? Why waste? There we go. So just sprinkle it on top. And then I will give them a little bit of water, not too much, because this soil is pretty moist already, but I want to make sure that the seed actually makes good contact with the soil. So that's why I'm kind of patting them down like this too. I didn't sift this soil, and I kind of wish I did. I talked about this last year during seed starting, that I need some kind of way to sift my soil, and I never bought it. So maybe I'm going to do that. See, because look at this big chunk I'm pulling out. See that? It's like a big chunk. It just might impede the sprout from coming up. But onions are pretty tough. They come up. Like I always say, these seeds, they want to grow. They want to grow. There we go. Little pat, pat, pat. And now I'm just going to sprinkle some vermiculite on top. The vermiculite just kind of holds in the moisture. It can be helpful in minimizing like any kind of fungal growth on top. Wow, I actually found it really easily. It was where it was supposed to be. What do you know about that? So here's the vermiculite. I just bought it at the store. It's like this. Sometimes it's hard to find, so if you see it, grab it. And one bag will go a long way because you don't use much. And if you're not familiar with it, this is a very fine vermiculite. It looks like this. There we go. So I'm just going to sprinkle some on top. Can't really see what I'm doing here. These Vigo seed starting trays are a little interesting because they're very sturdy. They feel just as sturdy as the Bootstrap Farmer ones I use all the time. There we go. And they also have these domes that go on each individual seed 4-pack, which I kind of like, because sometimes you'll put a big dome over like a 10, 20 tray, and some things will be sprouting and you want to take the dome off, but it's all or nothing. So these have individualized ones, just like this. And the other interesting thing about these is they have this little watering well. So you pour the water in here. Let me show you on this one. Ooh, spider. So you pour the water, it goes like this. See the well? You pour the water in here and it drips out into this little well here, and then it drips into each chamber. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna try it, but I'm not sure. But they fit on really nicely, as you can see, and they're nice and tall, so you have room for your plant markers, which is kind of nice. So I am going to mist the top of these with water just to make sure we have good soil seed contact. But I don't know where my mister is. I think Mr. Hubby may have borrowed it. So maybe I'll try the watering thing. Let's try it. Let's fill it up and see what it does. Oh yeah, look at that. Let me get you a closer look. Okay, so I put the water in the top and it drips down like that. Look at that. I wonder if that works. I am not sponsored by this company in any shape or form right now or anything, so the only thing is all the water goes right there in the center. I guess it must leak through to the others. It's probably good for watering on the regular basis, but I still want to mist the top. Okay, I can't find my mister, so I'm just going to use this spray bottle and just give them a little gentle spray. Put our little humidity domes on. I really like these humidity domes. They fit nice. I like how they're individual like that. Perfect. Our first seeds of 2026. Yay! So I'm going to put it underneath the grow lights, and I am going to put it on a heat mat. You don't really need a heat mat to germinate onions, but I'm in the basement here, and this basement is very cold in the wintertime, so I'm just going to give them that added boost of some heat. If you're growing your seeds in your regular household space with a normal temperature of like 65 to 72, you don't need the heat mat. But because down here it can get really cold, probably 60 or below, even like maybe in the 50s down here, I'm gonna put a heat mat just to help them along. So let's set those babies right here. Perfect. Seed starting 2026 is underway. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, get out there and grow. Bye. Seed starting 2026 is underway. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Seed starting 2026 is underway, Seed starting 2026 is underway. Seed starting 2026 is underway, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Seed starting 2026 is underway. Thank you so much for watching. That was rough.